National security is one of the most serious issues facing Taiwan ahead of the upcoming election. And when voters head to the polls in January, they'll be deciding the future of Taiwan's defense. Faced with the threat of invasion from China, Taiwan has been increasing its defense budget over the last several years. But Beijing still spends 16 times more than Taipei does. That's why the candidates for the opposition Kuomintang, or KMT, are talking less about how much they plan to spend if elected and more about what they plan to spend the money on. The KMT's Hou You-yi and Zhao Xiaokang want to focus more on deterrence and stopping China from landing troops on the island. It's an approach highlighted by Zhao during a recent vice presidential debate.
你今天2.5%、3.5%、5%、50%，你也很难拼。但是是不是就算了？当然不是。我们就要集中我们的力量。所以我们一直主张要源头打击，就是我们的飞弹、我们的这个火力要能够打到大陆沿岸的这些基地，海上歼灭。如果你要用船来这个运送这个官兵的时候，海上就要歼灭你，滩岸阻绝，绝对不能让你上岸。
In recent years, Taiwan has worked towards spending 2.5% of its GDP on its military, with much of that going towards U.S. weapon systems. That effort began in 2016 when incumbent President Tsai Ing-wen of the Democratic Progressive Party took office. With her second and final term ending, analysts say the front-running presidential candidate and current vice president Lai Ching-te will continue this trend.
When you look at what the DPP has been doing under Tsai Ing-wen and what a Lai Ching-te administration would likely do on defense policy, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of daylight between the two of them. And I also might add that the Taiwanese voters tend to be very suspicious and worried about China and have seen what's gone on in Hong Kong under one country, two systems.
That worry is what's fueling calls from the Taiwan People's Party, or TPP, to spend even more on defense. That was made clear by vice presidential candidate Cynthia Wu when she repeated the party's goal of dedicating 3% of the GDP to security and military modernization.
那其实从实体的改革的部分呢，我们是想说，要均朝实战化、专业化、合理化、透明化的方向改革。
Although all three candidates have different plans for Taiwan's defense budget, they all recognize the growing threat from China. Now it's up to voters to decide which approach they want to manage that situation and if their preferred candidate can deter a war in the Taiwan Strait. Luffy Li, Jaime Ocon, and Bryn for TaiwanPlus.